This is Dan, your pajama PM trusted man. The free energy is here and there is no doubt about it anymore. The question is, since is such a positive news for most, can we all adopt it from tomorrow? Guys, I can hear most of you exclaiming a very strong and decisive, yes, this is possible and we should immediately start to implement it. Just as one of my friends was saying to me today. I would like to know what you think, but first, let me show you how I see this from a higher distance. In other words, instead of seeing the picture from our own perspective, why not getting back a bit? And maybe the big picture will make you change your mind as fast as you might have said yes. The way the financial and social systems work in the world we live in at this very moment. We're created to accommodate more than one systems to work properly and simultaneously, for all of us to live a decent life in these massive communities, and especially in a safe way. If a small bank such as Lehman Brothers, valuated at a few $billion at the time of its fall, almost took the entire world's financial system with it, imagine what would happen to a giant of a few $1 trillion industry, such as the energy industry, would disappear overnight or in a matter of a year or two. The power sector alone employs more than 20 million people, which you might very well know one personally, as well as, imagine all the nuclear power plants that will need to be closed and continued to be maintained so they won't blow up and destroy the entire Earth's life overnight. I understand that this is a lot to take and it feels unfair. But it's the same as you would try to stop a very fast-moving freight train carrying hundreds of tons of hazardous substances in just 1 centimeter to avoid hitting a snail which didn't calculate its crossing time correctly. Believe me, I want that free energy too. But unfortunately, this is the real reason those people who previously came up with these great inventions, which would have brought free energy to all, had to be persuaded out of the big picture one way or another. They would have produced more bad than good without realizing it, and regardless of the warnings, they still kept their eyes closed to the reality because they wanted to contribute with a good invention for the humanity, but didn't think of all the common people who would have lost their jobs overnight. Commendable, yes, but not feasible, at least not in the current situation, maybe 150 years from now. I feel bad for bringing such a bad news to you all. But to be the pajama prime minister, it means to be honest with you all, even if it means I am going to get a massive hit in popularity. I truly believe that this way is much better than shouting the same empty promises we all fed up with just before every elections. My plan is to bring as many people as possible together and start creating unique projects which will be beneficial for us and the future generations. Projects which will be fulfilling to our souls and will give us true pride looking back at our achievements. A few people today still think that there is a big monster out there which has to be defeated. But that is only a false belief. Can we ever achieve something positive using a negative energy? To build the current systems, broken as we might all agree they are, it took decades and even centuries. But they were designed to provide to most people on Earth a decent life at least. By cutting our need for energy overnight would send a massive amount of these people home immediately as well, which will create a chaos, a huge imbalance which will come back to bite all of us on the backside as well. Who are we going to blame then? Most definitely not ourselves. I wish one day you will see for yourself how amazing and how fulfilling it can be to show up once or twice a week to build something amazing using just our own hands, which will make us feel so proud and so happy. My story is just beginning, and I hope to see it growing into one of the most beautiful movements this world has ever seen. Do you have a goal so huge, people might think you are crazy? Can we detach for a moment from this never-ending chase for money and power and contribute together to do something meaningful and beautiful for this world and not just for ourselves? Please comment and share this video with as many of your friends, as it is very important for all of us to understand why it is not so easy to adopt something which seems so useful and straightforward without a proper planning and allowing enough time as well, to avoid becoming dangerous for the entire world instead.